Lighting like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built strong.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation. Excuse me, coming to you guys every single weekday. Normally at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, you guys, because I want to put the right information out there by the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take this information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's why I proudly fly this American flag with me every single day. A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. Yes, Deborah, we are early today. I'm still up in Canada. I got to get to the airport right after this, and I wouldn't have time to do it at my normal time this morning and catch my flight and everything. So I'm going live a couple hours early. And yeah, you know what? We're going to get all of this up and running here. But yeah, let me see here. Tracy St. Clair watching over on YouTube. Good morning to you. David Nelson, what is up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. As always, he's watching over on YouTube as well. And then Thomas Wiederin, what is going on? Before we do anything, got a solo show. We're going to break down some articles here today. As always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, VHubApp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. And the best part for my drivers out there, my small fleets, and even my brokers, you get paid to move these trailers, you guys. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out and then bringing them out there to your customers, you guys. So they have a bunch of trailers out in San Diego, California. They have roll-up drive-ins, roll-up doors, as well as swing door drive-ins, and they go to New Hampshire, Wisconsin, Texas, North Carolina, literally all over the place. And they range between $1,100 and $2,200 per trailer. And then they also have about 130 out in Paragould, Arkansas, needing to get up to Mississauga, Ontario, and they pay $736 US per trailer. And now with these guys, like, you don't have to just pick them up in Paragould, for example, and load them out there. You can bring them over to Memphis, Nashville, wherever your customer might have a location, drop them. They just got to end up in Mississauga. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Appreciate that, Deborah. Thank you very much. Yeah, so up in Canada, it's been a great couple of days. I flew up here on Monday. Yes, I'm drinking, like I said yesterday, Tim Hortons' trash coffee. At the end of the day, they were the only thing that was open this morning, and I had to get that caffeine in me. But yeah, while I was up here, I was on site. As you guys know, I had my friends over at SPI Logistics on the show the last couple of days, and they've been a longtime supporter of my show. I mean, I met Mike and James for the first time last year in Orlando at the TMSA convention. And the TMSA, another phenomenal organization. You guys should look into that if you're into marketing and sales in transportation. Hit up Jennifer. Gosh dang it, I'm drawing a blank. Corpus Romaine. She's got the hyphenated last name and it threw me off. Hit her up to learn more about that. It's a great organization and they're doing really good things out there for the industry. But I met them out there, and it's just evolved into a phenomenal partnership. I've started an agency with them when I got in back into building in brokerage here, and it's real deal stuff, you guys. At the end of the day, I'm very fortunate to have the advertisers that I have for the content that I get. Like the fact that I get compensated to do this every single day is just, it's amazing. And then especially when you have partners that like an SPI Logistics and VHub and Green Screens and LoadSmart and Thai software, and it's just insane to me that I get to do this every single day, and the partners that I'm able to align myself with and how they're all vertically integrated. But we were talking about current events and everything, and we record. I literally think I recorded 8 podcasts or something like that when I was up here and just talking to numerous people inside of the organization to really talk about a lot of current events and what people are doing to combat that, and it's when people hear like people's if the message was just coming from an advertiser, for example, but it's like I'm utilizing, like I use SPI every single day. Obviously that's where my freight agent, my brokerage is through them, like we literally get a direct deposit every single Friday for all the work that we do, and knowing that they're not only a financial partner in our businesses, because that's, essentially what it boils down to is they're a capital partner in there. They take care of all our back office. They just, the resources that are there and what they're doing is, it's phenomenal, right? Because like I've talked about a couple of years ago, I didn't even know what an agency model was, right? And I'd been in the industry for 10 years at that point. Like I had heard of it, yes, but I had never like deep dove into what it really was and what it did. And for me, it's been a phenomenal partnership overall, so I have all the gratitude in the world to SPI Logistics and, in what they're doing, Mike, James, all those people over there, everybody, Anita, client care and my man RJ in marketing and everything that's going on, you guys. It's when you start when you start out on your own, there's always talk out there. There's two sides of content when it comes down to speaking about, building stuff up. It's either the route of, oh, it's so easy, I'm a fucking millionaire, yada, yada, yada. Or it's the victim mentality camp where it's always, oh, it's, oh, poor me, everything under the sun, yada, yada, yada. And it's, I just want to continue to bring the reality of what I'm going through in building up my future, my dreams, what I'm going to accomplish in life. And, when you're out there and you're value first, right? Like that's I guess to kind of my long winded thing is it's value first in everything. And it's the embodiment of that in every single action that you do. You can't selectively want to help people, right? At the end of the day, you have to embody it in every area of your life. And if you're out there building your book of business up there, building up that customer base that's out there, it's value first. How can you help somebody, even if they're not paying you? Right? What are you doing to assist? Has any of your prospects ever reached out and just asked you a question and you looked at it as, well, you're not even giving me business, why should I answer this? Or is your first initial thought of, oh, you know what, I can do that. I can provide you a couple of resources. Maybe there's a couple of articles out there that can just help people, right? And I think that once you start looking at it as value first, that's the service that you offer. How do I add value to everybody's life? When it boils down to it, with all the content that I put out there every single day, for the first year, it was all about vanity metrics to me, right? It was all about like, oh, how do I fucking go viral? How do I do this? How do I do that? Everything under the sun. And I, at probably a year and a half ago, I said, fuck it. I as long as this helps one person, as long as somebody tunes into this, whether it's on the live show, whether if they hit up on the audio only replay, and everything else, if one person a day listens to that, think about that in the long term. How much change can you actually implement? And how much good can you put out there in the world if your mission is, I just want to help one person every single day, right? Like my plan is to live a long fucking time and to do these shows a long fucking time. And if you compound that over a lifetime, man, that's what it's all about. It's just helping one person every single day. It's just like it's our company slogan, one truck at a time. That's how we're going to build everything up brick by brick. And, it's value first every single day. And that's what we're going to focus on. One of my core values that I work very fucking hard to apply to myself day in and day out is just, it's as simple as this, you guys. It's do the right thing. It's do the right thing every single day, the embodiment of it in all aspects of my life. And it's a challenge. It's a struggle. But you know what? I sleep a hell of a lot better at night when I apply that into my day, and I stick with it. And, I think anybody out there, if you're struggling with building your book of business out, and, the struggle is always going to be there, right? Like it's the first 18 months, like I recently pulled the data because, I recently have, onboarded, advertisers, and they always want to know, like, hey, what's the engagement look like? What's everything look like overall? And I pulled the numbers, and and I want you to take this into consideration. Then we'll get into the articles here. The first 18 months that I was doing this podcast, minimal engagement comparatively speaking to the last 18 months. And that's, if you're just starting out in anything, whether you are creating content, because if you're not, start creating content. I will fully support you. Tag me in your posts. If, as long as I'm on social media and I see that tag in there, I will support you guys in building out your content catalog and everything else, as long as you're not talking any bullshit. But if I look back on it, the first 18 months, comparatively speaking, there was nothing. The last 18 months, because, again, it's only been a little over 3 years now, is where 90% of my growth has came from. Okay. So look at that. Look at that as you're building your stuff up right now, whether you've been doing it for 12 months, 24 months, 30, whatever that looks like. The first 18 months of me doing this was literally 10% of my overall engagement. The last 18 months has been 90% of all of my engagement. And now the rocket ship has fucking taken off, and we're not slowing down from there. So that was my little soapbox and just showing out my appreciation to SPI Logistics. And as always, if you guys want to become a freight agent, you guys want to take control of your financial future, you guys want an industry leading tech stack to operate your business, and literally the capability of taking your laptop and plugging it in today and being able to book freight today and get a direct deposit next Friday from them, hit them up. You guys hit them up. You can call me, text me, or DM me or email me, and I'll answer any questions you guys have. I will speak highly of them and all of my advertisers, because all of these companies believe in me and they believe in my mission, and they are aligned with improving the transportation industry overall. Andrew Teal, thanks for tuning in so early, bud. He says, better yet, if you're a carrier that has excess trailers, post them on VHub for rental or reposition, generate revenue on, or balance your network at a better cost than using your own assets. That's exactly it. If you have trailers out there right now that are just sitting in your yard, put them on VHub. You guys put them out there and make some additional cash. April Maroney, April, like I was saying when I started off the show, I got an early flight here. Well, not technically an early flight, but I'm flying out of Canada and I want to get to the airport early, as opposed to the 40 minutes before boarding starts like I normally do. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. Trey Lincoln, what's up, my man? Joseph Metten, he says, morning from Santa Fe with the Contractors Transportation Management Association Conference. I love it. I love it, man. All right, first article we're going to break down. This one was from my man, Adam Wingfield. If you're not following Adam Wingfield and you are a driver, owner, operator, you're just involved in the industry, you need to follow Adam Wingfield. That's my brother. He's one of my really, really good friends, and I really appreciate his perspective. First article, overdriveonline.com, and it's the Work Balance Act as an owner. With rates down, focus on family, customer relationship to tip the scales. It says, when Adam's youngest daughter was born, he had a load of shingles on his truck in Missouri and was heading back east near his home base in the Carolinas. He says, I'll never forget it. As I was coming back, I was probably 2 hours out when I got the call that she was about to be here. But once he got to the hospital and called his dispatcher to let him know the good news, even though he said, hey, congratulations, the next phrase is, by the way, what time are you going to be able to get these shingles delivered on Monday? The former company driver turned owner operator turned small fleet owner and now founder of consultant Innovative Logistics said the experience shook me to the core. While he loves trucking, even the mundane parts, there's nothing like coming out of your bunk and smelling the diesel fuel at a TA truck stop on a Tuesday morning, he said. But he values his family, his health, and even more the stability. He urges owners to take a step and reckon with what his trainers told him early on. You're going to visit home, but you're going to live on the road. And man, that first line really hits home a lot, because my father was an owner operator for a very long time, and he missed my sister's birth, my younger sister Lindsay, and when I hear that and go out and think about all the events and stuff that my dad missed of mine growing up, and even right now, and I know it's a chosen profession, but whether it's, you're traveling for work, or, you're a driver, you guys take some of that into consideration, because just because it is their chosen profession doesn't make it any easier, right? Like, it doesn't make it any easier to be away from your family. I mean, and just imagine if you had to miss the birth of one of your children, because at the end of the day, that's the only shit that matters in life. Or all of this other shit's replaceable. Your family is never replaceable. And then let me see here. I lost my part in the article. Wrestling with that is a central tension of the reality of trucking, the pressure to run miles versus that need to lead a fulfilling, healthy life, push Wingfield to develop some of the best business strategies. In part, what he took from his company driver to truck ownership to fleet ownership, and to a mission to support owners through innovative logistics. Also part of the panel, which you can, all the links will be out there, you guys, for this. He stressed that Wingfield isn't alone. In fact, he noted, Jason Cowan, he stressed that Wingfield isn't alone. He noted that the younger generations rising up behind him in trucking tend to prioritize work-life balance more than those in the past. And 2022 data out there, in some ways, I'm just summarizing some of this, even his current rate of pressure. I think in the trucking industry, sometimes it's past what we thought it's a badge of honor, Cowan said, to push themselves over the limit. How much time have you stayed away from home? How long have I been gone? And offered up a hypothetical question in a game of driver to driver one-upmanship. He doesn't, but home life doesn't have to be the enemy of trucking life, Cowan said, noting he finds that drivers employed at Silver Creek who have a solid relationship at home tend to be the best among the core group of operators of the company's 30 power units. Independence, he says, own your backyard. For Adam, being home on the road can be powerful allies of own your own backyard as a small business owner operator. He urged independents in particular to improve home prospects by putting in an effort to secure direct freight out of your region, and it will keep you from doom scrolling, so to speak, as all those increasing dire posts of $1.50 freight out there on the load boards. Work the phones with manufacturers and other shippers in your green mile, he called it. You've got to pursue direct contacts with shippers that load out of your area, he said. Likewise, if you look at your address or whatever, you set the brakes and say, this is where I'm going to lay my head. You need to know that zip code. And he challenged owner ops to be honest with yourself. And this next part, do local shippers know who you are? Do they know what you do? Have you established a relationship with them? Because if not, then you're leaving some opportunities out there. Work the phones, make the visits, but work-life balance isn't just about working hard for some theoretical family time later. Involve the family now, he said. Coach your kids or your spouse to help you with all that Google searching and asking around the town. Introduce yourself to local shippers and tell them about your operation. The first call, it won't net, the results, he said, but you've got to get on their radar. He likened it to having restraint not to propose on the first date. That's my dog right there. I love when but it's very true. I talk about this often. Adam and I are very aligned on this, and this is very applicable to anybody out there as a freight broker as well as a trucking company. You need to own your backyard, and you need to get out there and visit people in person, no matter what. I think that's, because that's one of the biggest changes in my sales strategy here is everybody in Arizona. That's literally my outreach to them. Hey, I'm a local. I would love to come on site and introduce myself in person. I just want people to fucking see the care in my demeanor when I'm in front of them about their business, right? I want all of my customers, all of my vendors to know that no matter what, they can talk to me, they can reach out to me. Even better, they need to feel that they will never have to reach out to me because I am going to send them so many updates and so much information to keep them in the loop on what's going on with their business, with their freight. Because again, I don't want it to be a transaction with anybody. I understand that we might not be best friends where I'm going to your, fucking weddings and everything else, but they need to know that you care, right? Everybody in your target region should know who you are, excuse me, especially if it aligns with what you're trying to accomplish out there, right? Like, we specialize in open deck and heavy haul transportation and freight coach logistics. We are undeniably the top tier provider of that in the nation. Everybody in Phoenix, Arizona, and the surrounding region will know me by name at some point. I am going to offer to go on site literally everywhere until that is accomplished. And that is what we're going to do with it, and then furthermore, they need to, again, be on their radar, because it's not like this business is just going to be turned on today in this moment, but eventually, right? Eventually that relationship is there. Eventually that trust and rapport is built up for you to utilize. And then all of a sudden, that's when things start. Again, remember what I was talking about at the earlier part of this show, you guys. The last 36 months of doing all of this media work, the first 18 months, minimal. The last 18 months is where 90% of my growth has happened. Okay, so it's like, take that into consideration as you're out there, where you are in building up your book of business. This was a longer article, so I'm not going to read every little subpoint, but this is one of the better articles that I've read in a long time in this industry. And that has everything to do with the fact that I align with damn near everything Adam Wingfield puts out there, because I know his intentions are pure, and he loves this industry as much as I love this industry, and he wants it to improve. So it's overdriveonline.com, the work-life balancing act as an owner out there. And again, I will put the links to those articles up there on the YouTube channel, as well as the audio only replay on iTunes and Spotify. You guys, Coffee with a Freight Coach. No, Andrew, it's not, but there is a little maple leaf on top of this Tim Hortons cup. And I got to say, is the respect that should be on every single coffee cup in the United States of America. They should have the American flag on every single cup out there. I love it personally. Jen Kotka, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. All right. And now the next article we are going to break down, and this is probably going to only be the last one that we're going to be able to get to here this morning, but it's from fleetowner.com. Yellow's Chapter 11 timeline, very aggressive. And it says that the proposed timeline for Yellow to sell its assets and wind down its operation via bankruptcy court is quite ambitious, given the scope and scale of the LTL carrier's operation, a veteran bankruptcy attorney said. Yellow's labor union and constant adversary on April 8th also derided the company's bankruptcy process and called for reform of corporate liquidation laws. Executives and their attorneys filed their papers earlier this week, suspending operations late last month in the wake of everything. And let me see, in the later stages by the company's union, CEO Darren Hawkins said that his team has laid off almost all 30,000 employees, and 22,000 of them are union members. Samuel Capuano, a Miami-based partner in the business reorganization team at Berger Singerman LLP, who has worked on this, told this that the proposed schedule will be tricky for them to navigate. It's very aggressive, he says, and good luck to them. I don't mean to laugh, but that's kind of funny. Among the hurdles, he said, is the due diligence of prospective buyers will want to do on the company assets they are looking to buy. The third largest LTL in the that they're the third largest to sell their fleet, which compromises of 12,000 tractors. 1,000 of them were leased, as well as 42,000 trailers, of which 7,200 are leased. It sounds like maybe Yellow should put all their trailers up on VHub and get their stuff out there. And it has 169 terminals and 6 warehouses that are out there. Bidders, not wanting the whole kit and caboodle, will want time to pour over that list and decide what they're willing to buy. And while it's in just about everyone's interest to move quickly and thus preserve as much of their trucks and trailers and real estate, the large bankruptcy cases often produce wrinkles in the amount of creditors out there, and a million different things can happen in the interim. And look for the Teamsters to influence a few things in an August 8th statement that called U.S. business bankruptcy laws a joke and called for legislative reforms. Yeah, govern me harder, right, Teamsters? They said that President Sean O'Brien pointed out that the members of Yellow are the largest, that Teamster members are Yellow's largest unsecured creditor. He also noted that the union workers have agreed to more than $3.7 billion in wage cuts and more than $1.4 billion in pension reductions since 2009, but bemoaned that Chapter 11 allows for the dissolution of contracts and other obligations. Permanently mismanaged companies like Yellow should not be able to find safe harbor from accountability by simply filing for bankruptcy. Again, I think this is a perfect time and opportunity for the Teamsters to step in, buy all of Yellow, make it a complete union operation, and show everybody how phenomenal and innovative business owners they are and grow it. That's what I think should happen, because it's always easier to sit on the sideline here and critique what has been going on. I think that this is a phenomenal opportunity for them to run a business and show everybody why they are the right way of how they should operate. I would love to see it. I would open it. And, again, this is one of those situations, you guys, that the 22,000 workers, and I want to summarize all of it with that. The workers that are out of jobs, that are out of all of this money, are the ones that are going to suffer the most. Those are the ones that I feel for. This guy, the leadership of the Teamsters who are out here talking about this and throwing shit at Yellow. Again, I got to be careful about this because I'm trying not to like really get ahead of myself to over sensationalize shit. I would love to see what the union's doing to re-employ those 22,000 people that are out of work. If that is out there, if that is actively happening, somebody please DM me this so I can put that out there and give credit where credit is due in this situation. But I have yet to see any article out there that says that the union is actively working to find work for those 22,000 union workers that are out of jobs now. If that's happening, please DM me. I will eat crow. I will fucking do whatever because, at the end of the day, this is all my opinion on a lot of these things. But I think that a lot of this mudslinging that is going on out there right now, it doesn't benefit anybody. It does not benefit anybody because there are real hardworking Americans that are out of jobs now that, heaven forbid, what will happen to them. Yeah, David, exactly. Shit or get off the pot. Stop fucking dragging this shit through the mud because you're only like this is just, I think of it like this. It's statements like this is either going to, it's going to either further drive people into the fact of why they don't like unions, or this is just going to solidify why people love unions. I saw somebody tag me in an article about how the government bailed out the union pension fund. And I'm going to read that article. And if it's worthwhile, I'll break it down on next week's show because they're out there talking about how the government bailed out Yellow and everything else. And it looks, just based off of what I've read or saw, it looks like they've kind of got bailed out here too. So again, I'm just about putting out all the facts that I can possibly find in it. If you know of any resources that are out there right now for the union employees to get back on their feet and get other union jobs, I would love to know about it. I would love to promote that out there to help these individuals find employment. But anyways, that article, you guys, is from fleetowner.com, and it is titled Attorney's Opinion, Yellow's Chapter 11 Timeline, Very Aggressive. But that is going to be it for today. I will be back in the office tomorrow. As always, you guys, Fridays are Q&A day. All right. So if you have any sales or operations questions, DM them over to me. I'll answer them live on tomorrow's show. And as always, if you guys got value in what you heard here today, subscribe and share this show, you guys. Rank the show out there on iTunes and Spotify, YouTube, wherever you see it, because at the end of the day, that's how we are the top transportation podcast, is because if you see value in it, your network sees value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.